here. There we go.
I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn back.
Would you mind just coming over, showing your face?
I will go. I shall go to see what my life is going to be. I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be.
Bakana for everyone. As folks are coming in. This is a very exciting day. Just want to start off by saying, Dwa R Hrw, and all of you who have gathered here today. In the spirit today, we will be honoring the spirit of gratitude. So within the path of Ma'at, there are those who take on the responsibility of service, those who commit themselves to discipline, devotion, and continual work of aligning with truth. To serve Neter is not simply a title. It's a daily practice and a living commitment, a sacred responsibility. It requires consistency even when it's difficult, discipline when it's uncomfortable, and integrity when no one's watching. Today, we're going to honor that path. We're also going to honor and recognize that it is Mother's Day. We honor the mothers, those who nurture, guide, and protect and sustain life. And we all know that mothers are not just those who birth us, but they are They come in the form of aunts, grandmothers, sisters, friends. So we want to give honor to that. We honor the divine feminine force that flows through creation, through the women who carry, teach, and uphold life within our families. Now, today, we are especially honored by a family member. We have Hemet Neter Mbara Ma'at, divine woman walking in sacred service. I've followed her for quite a few years, even when she didn't know. She is one of the Hemet Neters of the House of Osset, and she will give us some details in reference to that a little later. But I wanted to honor her on this day as well as Mother's Day. We give thanks for her presence among us, and we're going to also later reflect within ourselves how we're showing up in service. Not just asking, but how are we giving in service? And how are we living in alignment with Ma'at? So before we go any further, we are going to go ahead and play the opening of the way, and then we'll get started. Okay?
Anatarak never hit. Anuk never hit. Anatarak happy. Anuk happy. Dwa R. Anatarak circuit. Anuk circuit. Anatarak Anuk. Anuk Anuk. Dwa R. Anatarak asset. Anuk asset. Anatarak ansett. Anuk ansett. Dwa R. Anatarak nicht. Anuk nicht. Anatarak dua meter. Anuk dua meter. Dua meter. Anatarak nut. Anuk nut. Anatarak gather. Anuk gather. Dua meter. Anatarak shoot. 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 Anuk shoot. Anatarak tapnut. 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 Anuk tapnut. Dua meter. Anatarak kau nataru. Anuk kau nataru. Anatarak imbu nataru. Anuk imbu nataru. Dua meter.
Dwa Neter. That opening of the way was brought to us today from beloved Raquette Kajara of, is it Raseki? I'm going to make sure I say it correctly. Raseki Arts Temple. If you all do not or are not familiar with her, she has been in the Kemetic game for years. It's an honor to be around her, and her presence it's awesome as well. It's just as divine when you're around Himneter and Bara Ma'at. Each time that I've been around these women, it's just been and yourself too, Sashat. Every time it's just a feeling. You get that feeling when you are in safe and good space. There's always good conversation, but the feeling of love is just overwhelming. And also to honor Dwa R Hrw, who pretty much, gave all of us the opening of the way. So every week after the opening of the way, whether we perform it or whether we watch it live, we always say we honor Baba Haru, Ankra Semai Sepata, Ma'akeru, opener of the way, custodian of the Ankh, and bearer of Ma'at. We honor you and your legacy and the contributions that you paid to the legacy of which we are still living today. Dua, dua, dua. That being said, let's go ahead and move into our next session. Sashat, you can go ahead and open the next session for her.
Okay, give me a second. I'm trying to see where we are a little bit. I'm trying to make sure I can see. You already did giving the flowers, correct?
We didn't do the flowers yet.
Okay. So that's where we are. Okay. Today we offer flowers in honor of sacred service and motherhood. Flowers represent offerings given freely without expectation. They remind us that true devotion is expressed through what we give, not only in ritual but in daily life. Today, we offer those flowers in gratitude to those who serve the Netzeru with discipline and integrity, in honor of mothers who nurture, protect, and sustain life, in recognition of the divine feminine energy that flows through creation, and as a commitment to deepen our own practice of giving. So we honor mothers today, and also the feminine divine energy of what motherhood is as well, and what that looks like.
And as an offering, I usually have different plants, and because it's Mother's Day, I bring out Little Debbie, and I offer that to you as symbolism. So it's plants instead of flowers because, they last longer. This was a plant that belonged to my mother. She passed away in 2021, so this is the plant that I have left. It grows, as you can see. This thing will grow across the whole room. So today, Himnetter, I offer that to you for the divine feminine. I offer to both of you women, you ladies, honestly, to just for the divine feminine energy and the mothers that we are. I also, lastly, Kaylin, can you come over? We usually don't do this, but as all three of us here are mothers, I am just she don't like to do this, but I'm introducing my daughter just to say, and she's a mother, so she has made me a grandmother. I have two grandsons. So just saying, giving thanks for motherhood and, being chosen to be a mother even.
Wow.
All right. Next, we'll set the feather. Love you more. Next, we'll set the feather so we can get into everything. Each week, as the theme approaches, we say setting the feather. We set the feather of Ma'at with our intentions for what we want to get out of this space. So today, in lieu of what we are honoring today, we'll say the 4 breaths of service. So with our 4 deep breaths, we're going to breathe in discipline. We're going to breathe in on the second breath, devotion. And on the third breath, we'll breathe in alignment. Fourth breath, we'll breathe in, of course, Ma'at, and we'll release ego. So as we take our time and take our breaths, I will ring the sound bowl just so that we can take our deep breaths and we can prepare ourselves so that we are led by Ma'at in this space and we can have a nice and beautiful divine discussion. All right. All right, as we breathe together, we center ourselves in purpose. And of course, that we know that the feather of Ma'at reminds us that service requires balance, humility, and truth. And now I'll pass it over to you, Sashat, so we can go into adoration and we can turn the floor over to our beloved family member.
Oh, girl. Okay. This is our sacred regional service and devotion. And I cannot pronounce that first word. It says, I I am not good with pronouncing
Oh,
Kemetic words. Please
that's
work with me.
okay. No, that's okay. We can it's the let's see. It's it might not even be spelled out. I say it the way it's pronounced. So EIU, praise.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't want to mess that up. Eiu to my aunt, Lady of Truth and Balance, you who establish order and guide in all righteous action. May we live in alignment with your principle. Do I Shante Shay? Eiu to Ra, source of life and renewal. You rise each day without fail, demonstrating consistency and purpose. May we learn discipline through your example. Eiu to Jehuti, master of wisdom and sacred knowledge. Your guide, you guide the mind and illuminate truth. May we seek understanding and speak with clarity. Do I Shanti Ashe? May I speak with clarity? Yau to Asar, Lord of renewal and endurance. Through you, we learn perseverance and transformation. May we remain steadfast in our devotion. Yau to Haru, upholder of my At. You act with courage and righteousness. The meaning of Hemneter. Hemneter means servant of the divine, not one who stands above, but one who commits to serving through discipline, through devotion, through daily alignment with Ma'at. It is not the title that defines the path, it is the consistency of the life lived. We give honor to the path of Hemneter and Hemneter, those who have committed themselves to sacred service. We give honor to the divine feminine force that nurtures, sustains, and restores life. We give honor to the mothers, both living and ancestral, whose love, strength, and sacrifice to continue to shape our lives. Today, we welcome and honor the presence of Himneter and Pramaat, a servant of the Netaru, a divine woman, a reflection of devotion in action. May her presence remind us of the strength, discipline, and care required to walk this path. I would like to add her presence does remind us of the strength, discipline, and care required to walk this path. We also honor the ancestors who walked this path before us. May this example to continue to guide us. Dua to the Nejeter, Dua Shanti, Dua Netter. We welcome you, Netter. It's awesome to see you.
So Anetta, it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me. And I really love all your openings. It's very beautiful prayers and offerings, gift flowers. I love it. So Dua.
It's an honor. It's really an honor. We come here every week at 9:30. We reach out to any committee, members, not just, priests and priestesses, but this space is designed for all of us to be able to come and commune together. We're across the country, but we've got, shrines that are across the country as well, members that are everywhere. And for me, it's a symbol that we can stand in solidity or solidarity, holding hands. We know that Western ideology will say, if they used to say, and the Bible folks would say, two or three come together. Well, I believe that because we were invoking, that when we were chanting around the fires, we were invoking those spirits. So when we come here on Sundays, I feel like we virtually grab, we join hands and we invoke the spirits of our ancestors and the energies of all the Neteru that we call upon.
Absolutely. You all are creating a beautiful sacred space here. You should be very proud of that.
Do I. As well as Mother's Day. him at Netter. So, just talk to us, give us some adoration about what it looks like in the life, in the life or daily life of him at Netter. This is something that is not just the outfits we wear, the garb we wear, or when we show up in comedic spaces or to do ceremonial things.
Not at all.
Tell us how that looks when it comes to daily devotion.
So every day is not the same for me personally. I know there are some people who have the benefit of being able to have their morning is always the same, you know, a 9:05, they do the same thing every single day, right? And that's not my path recently. I don't know, outside of the members of my house, I don't know if people know this, but in the last couple of years, my goddaughters have both moved in with me. And so adapting to both being like a godmother in a like more in a more formal way, like having them in the home with me day to day, has meant that I employ a lot more creativity about how I engage in my spirit work. And I love that for me because it reminds me that I can connect with the Netru and I can connect with my ancestors everywhere and at any time. And it doesn't just have to be in my altar space or my shrine space. So while I do very much love this shrine space that I've constructed for myself here, I'm very grateful for this space. It is my favorite space in the house, and is a lot of care has gone into constructing this space. A lot of care goes into maintaining this space. I also have to sometimes play my meditation music and my affirmations in the car, right? I sometimes have to do my prayers and my worship when I'm watering my plants. I am centering myself when I'm doing laundry because as a mother figure, you know that when your kids need you, when time needs you, you have to adapt. And so first I want to offer that because for a while I'm very hard on myself. So I was very much like, oh, you know, we're supposed to get up at 4 a.m. and you gotta, right? And so you're like, oh, am I falling short? And I'm very grateful to my mother, Osset, who gives me so much grace and understanding and patience, and is like, you are doing the work, even if the work doesn't look the way that people tell you it's supposed to look. That doesn't mean that it's not being done, and it's okay to adapt. It is okay to pray on a walk. It is okay to pray on a bike. It is okay to meditate right after dinner, right? It is okay to make these adaptations in order to make sure that the things that you need to get done, to center yourself, to balance yourself, to give of yourself, that you have time and space to do that. So for me, every day looks really different. There are some days when I'm spending a lot of time in my own self-study, studying the culture, studying history, studying the Sesh Meruneter, in order that I can be a better steward of information and insight for the community. There are days where I spend more time in divination for myself or for members of yourself, that you have time and space to do that. Doing spiritual readings for folks to offer insight, to offer perspective, to help them to ask questions, to help them to answer questions so that they have the guidance that they need. There are some days when I'm more teaching and connecting with people in conversation and in dialogue. And then there are other days where it's completely, you know, my own meditations, my own yoga, my own healing work. The best days have a little bit of all of those things mixed in, right? But some days have more than others, right? Some days it's more meditation than other days. Some days it's more divination than other days. The best days have a little bit of everything. So that's a place to start.
Awesome. I love hearing that. That helps me because I really hard on myself as well. And I have this thing that I'm supposed to have this rigid routine versus just going with what is needed at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, what spirit tells me to do kind of thing. So that is awesome hearing that. And I'm sure other people have those, you know, took away from that as well, for sure. I needed that.
So did I. I think about, like you both said, how hard we can be on ourselves because you feel like like she said, I didn't get up at 4 o'clock at 2:52 and do this exact, you know, and I feel like that a lot, you know, I didn't do the opening of the way at this time. I didn't do this at this time, you know, but I feel like what she just said, definitely helped me, because being gentle with ourselves, knowing that the intentions, and like you said, also here in my office here is my shrine, my office for work. It's my when I have meetings, and different things like that. And me and my daughter, we shared. We took a room and we made cubicles. So she has a side and I have a side. So it's not always, like you said, ideal, but that just helps me and it reminds us to the altar is wherever we are.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for saying that, because before it was more of convincing myself of that, and just trying not to feel so guilty when I didn't do something a particular way. But by that, it feels more confirmatory coming from you that, our intentions, and no matter on our walks, doing our laundry and all of those things, I've done it with guilt feeling. So
I think the thing that's most important is that when you think about stewardship and you think about caring for the things around you, particularly the people that you care for, our needs as people are so dynamic and they change. And what that means is that I can't give you what you needed yesterday, because that's not what's going to feed you today. And in order for me to be a good servant of my community, right, which is a part of what it means to serve the Neteru, right? The Neteru asked me to care for them through the people around me, to care for them by supporting the people around me in creating their own connections to the Neteru, and creating their own closeness, and creating their own relationships to their ancestors, in walking their own path and living into their own purpose, right? And if I am supporting you and living in your purpose, then I have to support you, which means I have to find out who you are. I have to understand where you are, and I have to understand how to give to you what you need. Not to just say, like, this is how I show up, so you just have to accept it. That's not really how that works. And when you have, women know this like really well, because when you have multiple children, like, you have one child who is like super independent and doesn't need you to, like, mommy, I can cut my own food. Like, I'll ride the bike. I don't need your help, mommy. And then you have another child who is like, mommy, will you stand right here? Like, and you have to show up for your children the way that they need you to. And I know sometimes it can sound strange as a Hemet Netter to talk about my community like as my children, because they're not children, and they're also not my children. Like, a lot of my community is older than me, so sometimes it feels weird to think of it that way. But I do think of the work and the role of caring for them in the same way, and nurturing them similarly, and showing up for them similarly. And so I think about, like, I do think in that way the analogy fits, because I do feel like it's important to show up for people and nurture them, and show them love, and show them care, and show them grace, and show them compassion, and also give them a little bit of discipline, a little bit of like nudging, little pushes, the way that, a mother does. And certainly for me, that's very appropriate now. Again, I mentioned my mother is upset. Now that I am leading my own house, leading the house of Aset, my walk and embracing of and embodying that energy is even more important than it was before. And so choosing to embrace the motherly spirit in a way, hopefully in a way that's not like condescending to the people around me.
Not at all.
Not at
Not
all.
at all.
Like you said,
Not
I
at
don't think
all.
your age even. I don't think when
No.
there's the work to be done and you're called to do it and you answer that call, the age is really, and like you said, okay, it feels strange saying, but you are mother, you are moot, you are definitely moot, to elders even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really don't think that there's any shame in you saying that. I wouldn't call you anything different. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I really honor that feeling, and I've seen that the work that you've done. I mean, honestly, people sit back in the cut. A lot of times they sit back in the cut so that they can judge and point out all the things that you're doing wrong. I sit back in the cut because I admire when I have a feeling, a connection, a pull. I might not tell you, but it's there. And sometimes that shame is like, I'm not gonna just reach out and say this is how I feel about it, but I continue to sit under your feet without you even knowing it. I'm there, always there.
I think you have a lot of us and sisters that do that, because I am as well, and I was so happy when I was able to meet you and work with you. It was amazing at that particular moment in my life. I'm PMSing, y'all. Plus, I am premenopause, and I'm just emotional, and I
I'm
cry all the
past
time.
that, so I cry for anything.
This space
Yeah,
has
listen. I'm happy. I cry. Everything makes me cry. But but no, I think you have a lot of us that do that, and you may not even be aware of it. Seeing you walking in what you were called to walk in, and doing the work that was meant for you to do while you were here. Especially because I feel like in my journey, I speak for myself, there's not a lot of feminine energy that you can see a lot of in the comedic area for me, that I wasn't able to. So when I was able to see you and connect with you, it was amazing. And I've told other people about you. Like it was and to see the true authenticity of who you are and what you do was I don't even know what the word they used. It was inspiring, very much
Dwa,
so.
I appreciate that. Dwa.
And just watching you for so many years, not even going down the line of what we've watched, but it almost feels the sense of you allowed us to walk with you, you know. And that in itself is an honor, because not many people, we granted we know we've got social media, our whole life is on social media, but sometimes it's there for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you were able to be vulnerable enough to share that with whoever follows you, whoever watches you. And for me, it was very, like she said, inspiring to see and what's to come. I'm excited to see what's to come as well. But everything thus far that I've been able to, I'll say, even just be a part of without you even knowing it, because we've been able to see your transition, see your growth. And not that you went from, you know what I mean?
I understand.
It
Yeah.
was just something, a feeling that was confirmation, because when I first met you, when I first saw you, I felt that way. So to be able to see the transition and to see how much grace you've carried through everything as a woman, that's something that was very, 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 very inspiring and helped me continue to stay on the path.
I'm very appreciative of both of your words. Thank you so much. And I take all of that. And of course, I have to give credit back to Osset, because my mother carries me, my mother holds me, and I'm very, very grateful for her love. And um, I think that I was just reflecting on this morning as I was preparing and in my meditations about unconditional love in our relationship with the Netzeru. And um, yes, ma'at is important, and we always should live a life of ma'at. And I'm not encouraging nor excusing people for living isfet or for choosing isfet. Please do not do that. Please live ma'at, right? Please do your best every single day. And sometimes we fall short, right? Sometimes like we do our best, even by our best efforts, and we still like end the day feeling like not 100%, feeling not our best. Um, but the Nestor don't abandon us, and our ancestors don't abandon us. They hold fast. They know that we are returning back to ourselves. They continue to walk with us. They continue to support us in that reclamation, in that journey. And so the real uh, struggle is with us abandoning ourselves, talking about being hard on ourselves because we fell short and beating ourselves up and carrying guilt and things like that, like allowing our hearts to get heavier and heavier and heavier because we're upset with ourselves over like one little mistake. Is that self-abandonment is the thing that actually is more trouble. It is not the Netru that are are leaving us. It is us who are leaving ourselves. And we have to, I mean, the Amatul Panatir tells us that every single day we're supposed to try again, that every single day we're supposed to give up. And so we have to do the work constantly to release that guilt and that grief from our hearts, to remind ourselves that we have the capacity to be better and to do better, and to just continue to endeavor every single day. So I'm just grateful, because I definitely had some hard days. Like, transition is not easy. Growth is not easy. Transformation is not easy. And there are days when you want to run in the other direction. But when you're never alone in the presence of the Netaru. You're never alone in the presence of your ancestors. And so you never have to face any challenge or any transition or any transformation. You never have to step through any gateway by yourself. You never have to jump off of any cliff by yourself. You are always held and kept, and you always are in companionship. So super grateful for the unseen community that I had and have, you guys, and also for the community, the divine community that we all have with us, and that's through our ancestors, etc. So
Dwa. And she and I are just two people, so you can imagine our cat's out of the bag. We've been like I said, sitting at your feet for quite some time. You can just only imagine how many other women and young women are. No, we're admitting it, but there are several. I mean, not even several, but you can only imagine how many there are out there that feel the same, that have that deep connection to you without ever even meeting you. You know what I mean? And so that's an honor to be able to, for us to see ourselves, you know what I mean, in this divine way as you're making that walk. You know, we always, even us, we're old and up getting old, we still see that little girl and we want to see ourselves in somebody that's doing something positive. And that is an honor for us to be able to see that in you.
Dwa, I'm very grateful. Thank you. Yeah.
Let me address some of the comments. We have, I believe, Sin Jamal Hester. This is someone on YouTube. He says, Anke Ma'at As Hemet. Happy Mother's Day to all. Dua for that. We have Umi. I know I do this wrong every time I see you. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I think maybe you should inbox me the proper pronunciation of your name so I can say it properly. But I'm gonna say it. Umi J. Umi J is here quite often. Hatep Sin 2. They say, our Sin, Shrine of Ma'at member, Hatep, and happy Mother's Day to all of you. And that's Sin James. On Facebook, we have Sin Curtis, and he says, Anke Ma'at, I bet, peeking in from work, he's at work, and he says, yes, being fluid, flexible, and creative with our rituals instead of rigid and regimented. It's the power of our intention that is most important. Yes, I agree. Sinet Kazi, Sinet Oye Het Heru, Anke Ma'at. And she says, Happy Newt Day. Yes, Happy Newt Day. We have Sin Garrett also, who says Anke Ma'at. All right, that's all the comments. So that's great. But, you know, what could you tell? I know me and Sashad have spoken about this, and me and quite a few other women, as well as brothers and, you know, brothers as well, Sins and Sinets. What could you tell us who aspire to possibly taking the path of Hemet Neter or Hem Neter? And is it something that you were called to do, or was it a choice for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was called to it. It wasn't really a choice. I mean, of course it's a choice. Let me rephrase that. Of course it's a choice. You can always say no, but also you can't really say no. Like that's kind of how I feel about it. Understood. For me, saying no means saying no to the Netaru, right? It is not about I was initiated obviously by my teacher, by my ex-husband. And you can say no to a person. You can't say no to the Netaru, right? When the Netaru call you, you can, but do you want to? I am a person who thinks about Ma'at who thinks about obedience as a part of Ma'at, right? Because if we if we see Ma'at as the highest, uh, you know, marker that we endeavor towards, right, in our culture, then living in truth, living in harmony, living in balance means that when you are called, when you receive a call, when your spirit says move, when your heart says move, when your body says move, then you move. And if you're not moving, then you're creating the disharmony, right? You're creating the disease. And so when my spirit called and said, this has to be done, I had to move. I didn't really have a choice. I do think that spirit calling is really, really important. Earlier in the broadcast, I think Shankai, you said that it's not about titles. And I do emphasize that titles are nice to have, but there's so much responsibility that comes with carrying one, that if you aren't really called to it, and if you don't really want to carry that responsibility, then find another title, right? Like find something safe to do. Okay, because this ain't the thing. There are people who depend on you, right? There are people who are dependent on you. There are ancestors that need feeding. There are netru that needs offerings. There are holidays that need celebrating. There are rituals that need doing. There are words that need translating. There are words that need saying. There is heka that needs to be done. If you do not really feel called to this, if you don't really have it in your spirit and in your soul, this is not your path. So first and foremost, calling is really, really crucial, really, really important, and just a desire and a drive to fulfill the responsibility, to carry the weight of what it looks like. I would also say, for people who feel called, I would encourage you to take your time. I felt really thrust into priesthood in my early years, and I didn't really, I have great role models now. I have a great relationship with Mukajara of Raseki Arts Temple. I have a relationship with Nasit Tut Ankh Kamut of the Nuaset Temple. And I have connected over the years with Hemeneter Anika as well. So now, in the later part of my priesthood, or I guess the middle part of my priesthood, I have priestesses, women who I connect with and who I have relationship with. But in the beginning, that wasn't true. I did not have those relationships. I did not have those women to talk to look up to work with, to ask questions with. And so there was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of figuring it out on the job. And what for those of you who are aspirational now, I think I'm grateful that you all don't have to do all that trial and error. So taking your time to consult with elders and with other priests and priestesses on the path, taking your time to learn, taking your time to be developed, taking your time in readiness, again, for that responsibility in service is just really valuable. If I had more opportunity to cultivate, I may have made fewer mistakes. And the mistakes are not the thing that bothers me. Sometimes what bothers me is the impact that those mistakes had on other people, that I wish I could have avoided those impacts, right? And sometimes I wonder, everything happens the way it's meant to, so I can't go back. But also, if I'd had that mentorship, what difference might that have made? And so I would encourage folks to seek out mentorship and to take their time in being developed in preparation for this work and this walk in this life. I think those things are really, really crucial. It has to really come from your heart, really be in your spirit, and then taking your time to be mentored and prepared for it.
Thank you for sharing that. I definitely agree with the mentor part, the last part you said, be mentored in it. We do have a community, and there are people out there that can mentor you and guide you. That's part of our culture as well, right? the rites of passage into things and things in the nature, just not jumping out there on your own. And I remember you said that one time. When I met you, we were out eating, and then you were talking about people doing the deviations and the tarot cards and things of that nature, and how sacred it is, and how certain things are. Everything's not supposed to be shared, right? Some things, as culture, is private, which is something I learned too when I went to the temple and visited you when you were there. About the different things that are sacred for us and things that can be shared when you do, broadcast live, and how some of us, even when we know we have a gift, and this is where I think I know I have some gifts, but I also know that I need to be mentored in those areas. I need a Jagna in my life to show me those things, and I'm putting myself in place to receive them into my life, so that I can move forward. Because, like you said, it is something that is very it's important and it's serious, and you do impact others' life with the decisions you make when you are in any type of leadership role. And people need to take that very seriously, that the things you do impact others and can cause them to be successful or fail at something because of something you've said or done. And I think sometimes we don't realize that either. It's the same thing. Sometimes we're talking about mothers as well. With mothers, sometimes when we move and the things we do with our children, whether they're our biological children or others that we bring on and come underneath our wing to be nourished, to be nurtured by us, we have to be mindful of how we do them, how we treat them, what we say to them. Something that you said earlier too, Emmett, about knowing how to change and being fluid. You have different kids. Everybody you can't do the same exact thing with. Knowing how to be fluid in how you move and treat each individual person that comes unto you for guidance or leadership in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so glad that even this conversation, like you said, everything's in divine time, everything happens as it's supposed to. And just to, not only for those who are watching, but I know for myself, you feel a pull, but it's like you said it all earlier, like when you get the call, you hear the phone ringing, but you're not going to push the red button, because then the person's going to know that you're not answering.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sitting over here kind of like, darn, it's ringing. I see who it is. Are you really calling me? Am I really supposed to answer this? Well, if I answer, am I gonna lead people to hell with gasoline draws on? How am I gonna, what about if I answer this phone? How am I going to, you know what I mean? And then you do that self-reflection. And of course, we know that no one's perfect, but then you're like, really? You're calling me, so when you get the call. But having this conversation today helped really put things into perspective as the measures that should be taken. I hear it ringing, but then it's like I'm scared to answer. What if I don't measure up? What if I, what I mean? So,
What I think is really beautiful is that if you're getting the call, it's because you are ready. And some of what happens is like there's a measure of training and preparation that has to happen in the process. And sometimes we want that training before the process, and that's not the way that it works. Do you know what I mean? Like some of it, you got to have some on the job training. You start a new job and they're like, you're on 30-day training process, right? You can't like get the 30-day training if you didn't start the job, right? You gotta like, do you know what I mean? And so first you have to answer the call, and then you find out like over the next couple of weeks and months, you're gonna get this training, you're gonna go through this, you're gonna go through that, you're gonna get this experience and that experience, and over the course of all these experiences, you're gonna be more ready than you were. So today you're like, why are you calling me? But I'm calling you because you're ready. I'm calling you because it's time, and you have to trust. And so much of what it means to be in service to the Netaru is trust, because even with divination, there's still parts of the answers that the Netaru don't reveal to me and don't reveal to, like, people come to me for readings, and there are parts of answers that the Netaru are like, yeah, I'm not telling them the answer to that, because if I tell them the answer to that, then they're not going to do it. If I tell them, why they need to quit their job, then they're not going to quit their job, and I just need them to quit. If I tell them not to get in this relationship, then they're not, I can't give them all the answers, because I need them to act in a certain way. I need them to learn a certain lesson. I need them to walk down a certain path. I need them to, they need to learn this lesson in this way. They need to take this journey. They need this experience. And so sometimes I sometimes I even find myself being like, this what you want me to do? And they'd be like, yep. Okay. This is scary. I'm about to go do it. Are you sure? Okay. Yeah. And so faith and trust that it's going to be okay. Faith and trust that it's going to work out. And it always works out. It is always okay. I know for sure that, like, after the last few years that I've been through, I feel confident that everything is going to be okay, because everything is okay. Like, gone through the things and done all of the things and changed life in drastic, dramatic, huge ways, and everything is okay, which means everything is going to be okay, right? And so the, like, past is precedent. It gives us the evidence to show us that we will be taken care of and we will be okay, and we can have that faith in that relationship with the Neteru, especially when we nurture that relationship, right? When you will open your day with the Amatu and Panatir, and you are making your offerings, and you are pouring your libations, and you are opening the way, and you are taking your sacred baths, and you are giving back to nature, and you are walking and living in alignment, then there is no reason to be afraid, because that alignment will keep you every single day, every day, and you will be okay, and it will be okay. So that faith is such a big thing. And you know, when I first became Kemetic, I remember people saying that they didn't like the Abrahamic traditions because the Abrahamic traditions require so much faith and so much, like, belief in the unseen. And as African people, we believe in what we can see, because we can see nature, we can see trees, and we can see the sun, and we can see. You're right, but you cannot see what tomorrow brings. You do not know. You do not know what tomorrow holds. You do not know how the blessings are going to come. You don't know where they're coming from. You think you know where your money's coming from because you got a job, and therefore you think you know your paycheck is coming. You don't know. You don't actually know. So there's faith, right, in this tradition, in every ATR, right? Our ancestors had nothing but faith, right? In the prayers that they wrote and the writings that they left behind, there is like repetitious statements of faith, right? And adoration and love and devotion and commitment to the Neteru, like, as themselves, right? And in that reciprocal relationship that they have with nature and with the Neteru. And so, yeah, there's so much faith that's required in this tradition, so much faith that's required in our relationship with Ma'at. And that faith is so rewarding, and so rewarding, and so rewarded.
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right.
I love how you said that it was. I know we got to wrap up a little bit, right, sis?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. You were saying everything comes when it's supposed to, and I think even, well, again, for me, maybe some other sisters out there as well. Like I said earlier, sometimes I didn't really see a big presence of women, or the feminine energy within the Kemetic practice and area that I was able to participate in or see. You say everything happens at the right time, and I feel like now I'm starting to see that a little bit more, and we're getting to that back to that balance and that harmony in it, kind of thing. If with you and your new house, and it's another Hepneter who has house that she's had for, I think, maybe like a year now, but I know she just did a new initiation into it, and her name is so long and I never pronounce it right, but yeah, I'm working on it. That's one of my new things too now. I'm actually going through her initiatory class that she has there, but it's her temple is the Ba Mensu, MESNU temple, and it's Hemneter Amut Samiri Amenti Nefer. And I think she had another temple before, and she was also trained by Dwa R Hrw, and she also she went through the Shrine of Ma'at. She just said she wanted to do it. She likes learning from different temples and Kemetics, and one thing that she says to us is that she encourages that. She said because everyone has something different that they're teaching and we need all of it, right? And I thought that was amazing. And so for me, like you said, it's right on time. So I have I'm becoming a little bit more with the harmony in my life and a balance with being able to see more feminine energy in the comedic spaces and places to look at and see examples of what should be and what should not be, just by, and this is by you feminine energies walking in who you are. You're not doing anything different, like we were saying to you earlier. It's just you on your own personal journey, not even paying attention to anything else, but you doing your journey, and how that is being inspiring and being an example to other women within the comedic practice as to what it looks like and what to aspire to be or not be, or what, but just what it looks like overall speaking. And I think that's really amazing. And I'm happy to see more of the feminine energy and the mother energy coming into this space for us, because it's definitely needed in my opinion.
Too.
Absolutely. I had a Senate I spoke with recently. I won't mention her name, but she was feeling like she didn't have a sisterhood. She was feeling kind of unsupported by women. And it really saddened me because, I mean, I know that we can't fix everything that's broken, but to know that and to know that she felt like that and couldn't express that and didn't feel the support. And I said, I want to assure you that there is. And I'm glad you expressed that to me, because expressing that to me makes it, like you just said, I'll get emotional a little bit here, because for many years, especially in this Western society, we have been so left behind. You know, in the Western ideology, our men have left us behind. Different things. We know the story, we know the rhetoric, but to hear that, and we're in this tradition, and she's a member of our shrine, it saddened me. We talked for a long time, and I said, I just want to assure you that you do have a sister. And I'm glad you said that, because there's a lot of sisters out here. There's a lot of moots. There's a lot. We are here. And a lot of times we often get just in our everyday, like you said, your day to day. And sometimes people don't express that. And when she did express that, it made me feel like I've got to do more. And not just me, but we're doing it. Like Sashat just said, I'm seeing more of it. I'm seeing more of the sisterhood. I'm seeing more of, and it's not like we're just erasing. We're not doing that. We know that everything is in balance, but we're supporting each other more, because we have to be supportive for our women. Everybody, you can't just expect. We have to have our sisters, our women. You know what I mean? What is
Mhm.
one of those memes, straighten the crown without letting her know it's crooked, all of those things. But we have
Yeah.
to be able to be there for each other sincerely, and so that there should be no woman, no black woman that feels like she's alone. There should always be a circle that she can call upon and know that she's held, the space is held for her, and that she feels safe and she can be vulnerable, whatever the situation. So that really made me feel sad, because I know that on the inside, it's really different. It exists. You know what I mean? So, dua for you saying that, and you being such, like Sashat said, a divine woman, an example of what we can see, to know that that we do have that. And sometimes, like she did, which I'm so glad she did, you just have to speak up, because we may
Mhm.
not know. Because a lot of things we don't show. We don't necessarily get on social media to show our pain, to show our scars, to show what's going on. We show the happy moments, you know. So sometimes, you're standing at the ledge ready to jump and nobody knows you're there.
Yeah.
So I was glad that she did. She felt a lot better. I was kind of saddened from the conversation, but I'm glad she did reach out. And this conversation between us here just is confirmation that it does exist. And we've got to be more open to letting women know that it exists. See,
Mhm.
you got
Do
people
I?
standing on their feet and you don't even know it, because we know that you have that. We know that it exists.
Do I not say?
So,
Do I
Do
not
I?
say?
Do I? I would also like to say, for all the sisters that are watching now or who may watch later on, um, sometimes too, we have to remember we have to be in a space to receive it. One, two, and call on it. open that up for you. And I think that's for me why I've been able to be able to see that's what I want. So if that's what you want, when you're doing your meditations, when you're sitting before your altar, ask for that, seek that, open yourself up, make space to receive women in your life. If you want that, you want that sisterhood, you want those guidance from divine feminine energy within the Kemetic spirit practice tradition, then say that, speak that, really want that, see it manifested in your head, and it will come into fruition. So sometimes it's about what we think and how we talk. If all I'm saying all the time is I don't never have no sisters, I ain't got no women in my life, they're never here, they're never that, then guess what, that's what shows up for you, right? That's something I had to learn personally myself. You have to think differently. You create the circumstances of your life. So if that's what you want and that's what you want to see, speak it, believe it,
Yes,
feel
Dwa
it, and embody it.
Absolutely. Okay. So we'll move into prayer now. This is a time where if there's anybody that's watching that needs prayer, we don't ask anybody to disclose their business. You can disclose what you want or lack of. It's completely up to you, but we do ask if there is anybody that's watching or any of us that is in need of prayer. We are also in Mother's Day, so we'll even take a moment to even say the names of those women who have left an impact on us that are now ancestors, and we can speak their names as well so that they continue to live. And as we open that up to see if there is anyone in the chat that needs prayer, you can say the person's name or you can say your name, and then we will ask Himmet Netter if she'll do the honor of providing us a prayer for the for those who may be sick and shut in or going through anything. If we don't know the circumstances and nothing's in the chat, then it can just be free, and then we'll say the names of any female ancestors that we would like to mention.
Too.
I will check to see if there's anything coming.
And while you're checking, one thing we can pray for, if you can maybe add Himnetter to your prayer, is for us as sisters and women and ones that out there that we just talked about that are seeking that sisterhood, that community. We can kind of bring that in there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, just seeing. I see Melanation app, which is Tahuti Forever. He says Ankemad. And we are now at prayer. So if anybody has any names that they'd like to put in the chat, please do so now or anything. Let's see. In here, Umim J. Yeah, authentic sisterhood is hard to come by in general, and especially within the Kemetic community. I am glad to know it exists, and I am on a mission to find my tribe and to be the sister I would like to find. I'm so glad you said that because you, Jay, I've been sitting here going sin the whole time. Dwa. So I'm so glad that you did say that. And yes, for us, even on the screen, we've had plenty of conversation about what that looks like and, the need for more of it. And Sashad, I do want to say thank you for saying that, because sometimes we need that reminder, just calling it into existence. Like you said, get into those altars, speak our intentions. We do affirmations, we do meditations, call that into existence, call the divine women into your life. I know that I will definitely be doing that from here on out because I know that it's needed. And I definitely want to be in the presence of divine elders, my age, younger, all the above. I want to be in the tribe of some divine women for sure.
Doing that too.
All right. I do not see any specific prayers, so those watching, if they don't, have anything specific, you can go ahead and bless us with some praise.
You got it. Amatu and Panatir, Sawek to Amantamatir, Auduauma Katipa Hrw. And there's Ratuni Munity the Tamak Pauna Tru. 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 And there's Raj Aset, the homage to you, Aset, the great mother, Urtekau and Ankh, the great one of magical power, the great one who has power over life, the womb of light, she who brings forth the will, she who revives higher consciousness. We honor you, Aset, on this Mother's Day. Thank you for being the standard of nurturing and devotion that every mother strives to emulate and follow. Thank you for showing us how to hold ourselves in high regard as we care for and love and uplift the spirit of the children and the people left in our care. And we help them to live themselves into their own divine purpose, supporting them in being who it is that they're meant to be. And in that way, we also allow ourselves to be who we're meant to be, manifesting our greatness, living into our power, utilizing our Heka, harnessing our Sekhem, our personal power to do great and glorious things in this life. Dua Natert Aseta. Aset, I call upon you now, and I ask that your wings wrap around all of the women who are watching, both now and later. Support them in finding sisterhood, a sisterhood as valuable and as great to you as the one that you share with Nebuhet. Help them in walking an authentic life that they may invite and invoke authentic love, authentic sisterhood, authentic companionship, and authentic friendship into their lives and into their hearts. May they know that they are supported. May they have other women, Black women, African women, Kemethi women around them to give them love, to give them encouragement, to give them support, to hold them in accountability, to remind them of their power. May they have the capacity to give that back in equal measure and kind. Thank you, Aset, for bestowing and pouring your many, many gifts, your many, many blessings upon all of the mothers and grandmothers, aunts and nieces and sisters and godmothers who are here watching now and later. We love you, Mut Aset. We are grateful for you. We are grateful for your care, your compassion, your grace, your wisdom, your power, your prowess, your devotion, your nurturing, and your capacity. Dua Neterta Seta, Dua Neterta Seta, Dua Neterta Seta, Dua Neterta Seta. Amen, Ma'at.
Dua Natur. I see Umi J says prayers for wellness. Dua Umi J, we wish you Ankh Uja Saneb. You are definitely included. We murder you and just let you know you do have sister. You have sisters right here. You definitely have sisters. You have a moot here on the screen. You have what you need. So if you need to reach out to us, and you can certainly do so. I think I dropped off, but she'll come right back. Now, for announcements, Himet Netter, tell us how we can support you and what you've got going on. Let us know the things that you've got going on and how we can support that. Because that's one thing, another thing that we have to remember. We all might be of different shrine houses. We might have our different private rituals that are like she was saying earlier, that maybe, but we are all family across the globe, and we should be in support of each other, whatever we've got going on. Be able to support that and show up and show out for our family members. So let us know what you've got and what we can do to support that.
Dua Neter. Certainly, first of all, I just started a business, Lady of Reads Editorial Services. So for those of you who are aspiring authors or planning to self-publish, if you're looking for an editor, feel free to reach out to me. I worked in the publishing industry for over 20 years. So I'm bringing that experience, and I also self-publish my own book. So I have some experience with publishing, with editing, with self-publishing that I really am excited to be able to share with our community in particular. So for sure, feel free to reach out. I also have one of the things that I really wanted to do for a few years now, and I'm really excited to be able to launch soon. Some self-paced courses that are on different topics related to the Comedi tradition. The first one that I'm planning to launch is related to the days of the week. So just doing a deeper dive into the energies of the days of the week and how we harness those energies for our benefit. So please stay on the lookout for that. You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. You can go to my website, embaramaat.com, and get information about that course when it launches. Lastly, for those of you who are interested in learning more about the House of Magical Devotion, we do have a mailing list that we're collecting email addresses on. It's on Kit. I think I will make sure that link gets added to like the comments or the description box on YouTube or something. Is that okay, Shanka?
Please, please.
For folks who want to join the mailing list, you guys can do so. And then when we start to launch some of our public events and offerings in the next few weeks and months, you guys will be able to, you'll be first in the loop. We are we're just building something really, really beautiful. I'm very grateful to the other high priests of the house, Sunu Saul and anyone wet. I'm grateful to our eldership council, our shepsuits and sheps, as well as to the Wabu, the priesthood of the house. What we have been building has been really fantastic, really beautiful, really powerful. We've been doing great work together, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to share some of that with the broader community, and allow the circle of love to grow. Like, I'm so corny sometimes, but like, that's what I want. I just want the circle of love to grow. I just want more people to love. I just want more people to celebrate with, more people to like share the power and the feel good and the energy with. So I'm just super excited. We've been doing great things, and I just, excited for the opportunity to share all those great things with more people. So yeah.
If you all do not already, if you're not friends on Facebook with Himnetter, her name is there on the screen. If you're not friends with her already or following her, do yourself a favor and make sure you copy that name down. Good. So let me change this up. Followed you on IG. Excellent. Good. That's awesome. It's just wonderful. I mean, I can't smile enough from this. It's been a great topic, a well-needed topic for other women to see and to see how things are evolving in our community. I feel like our community, it's always going through a Kepra process, but every day is Kepra. We know this already.
Yes.
But I think it's headed in a way that just feels so true. And I feel like we are, not just as women, but as a community, we'll definitely be making our ancestors proud. I don't hit ignore on the call anymore. We just do what we're supposed to do, what we're called to do. And however that looks like for each and every one of us, as you said earlier, one thing that I copied down that you said, that's a great quote, and I will be repeating it, and quoted by you, where you said, I can't give you what you needed yesterday because it won't feed what you need today.
Man, I caught that too.
Man, I said, whoa. Can't give you yesterday's food now. I can't. So I take all of that stuff in, and we just soak it up, and look forward to being more connected with you and supporting the things that you're doing, you know what I mean? And all of that, because I'm definitely going to be right there.
Give thanks. I'm so grateful to hear that. The circle of love is growing. I love it.
Definitely growing.
Yeah.
Definitely growing. I don't really have, now, of course, we always keep in prayer our Himnetter Ames, Himnetter Wasiri, as they're both going through things, healing processes. Himnetter Ames is going through his second round of cancer. He's going through treatment, having his chemo, and he'll be having surgery coming up soon. I did hear from him this morning, but I didn't see whether or not he was able to be in the chat. And it is Mother's Day, and he's close with his mom, so I'm sure he's doing something to that magnitude. Himnetter Wasiri has had several strokes. You know, he was able to be there at Baba's homegoing service, but he's still been struggling. So he's been in rehab for quite some time. So, you know, we always like to lift them up. We always want to give honor to Hemnetter and Tepi Jabari as well, who leads our shrine, you know, Shrine of Ma'at, but to all, you know, of the divine forces that come together for us to be able to do this and to make things possible every week and to have these open conversations and for folks to know that this is a safe space for all committee youth. And I repeat that so many times because you guys have no idea that nothing in this space is led by ego. It is truly a sincere place. We could care less if one person watches or if no person watches. The conversations are always going to be there, open to all of you and all of us. It's our space. You may see me using the StreamYard, but it's not even Shinka's space. It's not. This is our space. So there are no topics off limit. This is a place you can be vulnerable. You can, you know, say what's on your mind and we can discuss it and even get the community involved with the discussion. So that's what this place will always be. It will never be anything different. If that changes, shut it off. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Other than that, I do want to, I know we want to speak those names before we get out of here so we can raise the vibration for Mother's Day. So if there are anybody in the chat, including us, we'll give a moment to speak the names of divine feminine ancestors so that we can raise them up this morning and this day on Mother's Day.
Two, I'll acknowledge my grandmothers, Olivia Vesta Russell Blanting, Myrtle Stamps Bunton, and also Lina Waters, who was my grandmother by spirit, although not by blood. And I'll also acknowledge the mother of my goddaughters, who I love because she gave me my two best gifts in the world, Tashika Renee McLeod. I'm grateful to her for giving me our children. So to Anetter.
Anetter.
I give honor to my grandmothers, Alice Waters, Carol Ann Waters, Odetta Melton. I just forgot my grandmother's mother's name, but you know who you are. And Sarah Waters as well, my great grandmother, and also another spiritual mother for me was my mother-in-law, Sharon Whitmore.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Today I give honor to for my great grandmothers, Minnie Brooks, Mary Douglas, my two grandmothers, Constance Lacey, Thelma Brooks, my mother, Deborah Brooks, or Deborah Smith, she was married, and my god sister who transitioned at a very, very young age. At the age of 30, she passed away of cancer, and she allowed me to be the godmother of her son, who is now graduating this year. He was 7 when she passed away. So I also give honor to Cherie Lambert. All right. So with that said, she already said the Amasu, which is great. Okay, here we are. Virgie Dunbar, Jameer Louise Cummings, Catherine Spencer, Carbondale Moore, and Pinky Lincoln. We give honor to you. We raise these names so that they live. You know that once our names are no longer spoken, we no longer exist. So let's always remember to raise those names because we definitely don't think that when you so-called die that that's the end of the road. You're just transitioning into the next phase. So dua, and dua, I can't thank you enough for being here and bringing that energy to us. Exactly what we needed on this day. Specifically, and we hope that you'll come back again once you know you get all of those projects that you were talking about, once they're up and you're ready to go here, right? We're going to invite you back here again, and if you have any time that you want to come back, it's not a show. This is another it's almost like saying you can go to any town and visit a family member's house. That's what this is. So this is a family member's house that all are welcome to visit. There's always a place to sleep here and always a place to rest. Always.
Yes. And a place for adoration and a place for celebration of us. So again, like she said, when you get to that place and you're like, hey, guys, guess what's going on right now? We got this coming. This is a place to put it out there. We have to celebrate each other, our big and small things, you know, and share that with each other for sure.
So on that, Sarah, I absolutely will. I'm so grateful. This is really beautiful. I'm really grateful again for the space that you guys have created and for the space that you guys keep. I know it's not your space, but you guys are the keepers of the space and the stewards of the space. And so I honor you for that contribution, for continuing to hold this space and nurture this space for our community to benefit from. And I will absolutely be back, and I look forward to it. And we will be in touch. I will talk to you guys very soon. Tuanete, thank you again.
Right.